Welcome to the launch of senior1.org. I am Dumba Stephen and the CEO of this initiative. With me, I have Druscilla Namgoma, who is going to be our Director of Studies. As we start with this, we welcome Matthias Sewanyanatu. Welcome to this meeting today. We want to bless our meeting. Do we have a volunteer who will help us bless this meeting, this launch of ours? Anyone from the audience? Druscilla, will you please volunteer with to open this meeting with a word of prayer?
Hey, thank you very much, Mr. Dumba. Please let's humble our souls and we pray. Loving Father, we thank you for the gift of this time. We thank you for gathering us here. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to launch our platform today. We pray that whatever transpires in this meeting is for the good of the plans of the initial planners. We pray, believing and trusting in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, our Director of Studies. So first, maybe luckily enough, we are still few, and I'll start with maybe asking, what are your expectations of this meeting today? And do you have some expectations? Abigail, are you there? Mr. Emerald.
Yes, please, Mr. Dumba.
Yes, please.
Well,
what are your expectations, Mr. George?
I expect to be elaborated very well how the platform is going to run and how possibly maybe students can be enrolled onto it, and also how or whether there are opportunities for other teachers who may be interested to be part of the initiative to be part of it. So I expect to get a highlight into such areas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. George. Thank you so much. Do we have any expectations from other members here today? Stephen Imbasani. Oh,
hello.
Yes, Mr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
My name is Stephen Donald Imbasani. I'm a teacher at Kololo SS.
Yes, sir.
My expectation is to learn how this app will help the students in learning the CBC.
The CBC.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm noting that down. CBC. Thank you so much, Mr. Ambasani. And please send our regards to Mr. Kanonya, your headmaster.
I will.
Thank you. So, any other expectations? Can we have an expectation from a lady? We have Hadija Nachirai. What do you expect in this meeting today? And by the way, it's going to be a short one. It shouldn't exceed an hour. Okay, fast forward as we wait for other members on this call. I said before, I am Dumba Stephen. I am a teacher of ICT. I've taught ICT for 1.5 decades. I started teaching actively in 2007, so I have good experience in ICT as a subject. The need for senior1.org. Earlier on in 2014, when I was still a teacher at St. Peter's Senior Secondary School in Zambia, I had a computer club I had a group of kids who were so much interested in computer and tech-related activities. So I used to dedicate an hour or two every 2 days of the week, where we used to discuss this, and kids used to come up with ideas. During some of during one of those engagements, one of the kids proposed that I wish there was a way we could put all the books in the library online, because the library was small and yet the population was around 1,500. So they wanted that at least if we digitized some books and put them in the lab, computer lab. And then also that since the school had Wi-Fi, kids would access gadgets, access the library digitally from across the campus. So as we started working on this project, more and more ideas came up. And that's when the idea of an online platform to help others, because I remember on weekends, kids used to come to St. Peter's in Zambia just to experience how people would access books which were supposed to be in the library, how they would access them on their gadgets, on the tabs and phones. So I noticed that this age, really, much as we don't trust them with gadgets, I found that there was this particular catchment of students who are willing to put their efforts in learning using any methods, be it online or offline. So I came up with an online platform, which we tried, but because I was working alone as an individual, and these kids who would come, and maybe after the end of, who would come to the club, and then after the end of their O level, they would perhaps go to other schools. So it wasn't sustainable. I was working alone with the little funds of my salary as a teacher, and so I couldn't sustain this. So I abandoned it, but I kept doing my research since 2014. And there are many things that I've come to see with online platforms. I have done research with over 5,000 students since 2014. I've been doing my research, and don't ask why it has taken long to come to this. But during my research, of course, I was working on this single-handedly using the little funds that I have. So I found that kids were willing to engage or do academic stuff online, many of them. But then the needs of the students, if we look at the needs of a student, the online platforms that were available, we are not doing enough. They were simply pumping them. For us who started in the 80s and 90s, we really know that going to school was not only about academics. There were many things we would do at school. For example, we had MDDs. I remember in my primary school, we used to go to the International Conference Center, which is called Serena now, but these things are not so common these days. We used to go to schools for debates, and these things are not so common these days. And then as the world goes digital, our kids are having a lot of problems emotionally, and yet the parents have to find ways of surviving. So the parents leave home at 6 or even as early as 5 or 4, and then they come back at 8 or 9 when the kids, and the kids don't have time, don't get time, quality time from the parents. So you find that the kids are looking for okay, when the kids have these emotional problems, they even don't know where to run to. When you look at the available media like radios, they are becoming more and more obscene. And yet not all students are really that bad, but because they have no options, you find that we end up losing many of them. If you look at UNEB statistics, in O level, we had, I think, around 400,000 candidates. I don't remember the figure as well, but when you compare them to those candidates who start for P7, the number is the gap is too big. So you find that we lose almost half of our students between P7 and S4. So I put all these issues together. Can we have a platform that will take care of all the needs of these students. A platform that will first take care of their academics, then two, a platform that will take care of their emotional needs, a platform that will take care of their talents, things like that. So that's why we came up with senior1.org. We are different. And that's why we say we are the next generation. We are the next generation classroom. We want an online classroom that caters for all the needs of these learners. And then what I did, the other thing I did was when it came to recruiting the teachers that are going to help us online. We did not call out for teachers to come and join us. No, since the pandemic started in March last year, we have been scouring the internet, looking for those teachers who are passionate about teaching using the latest digital trends and tools. So we were looking at and identifying them. We attended all possible trainings in ICT and digital pedagogy that were there during this time. And we were looking at which teachers were frequenting these on their own initiative. Recently, we had a project with Edify Uganda, and we saw many teachers who are coming on board to train in these new skills. The government of Uganda last year also, through the UIGCT in Nakawa, they trained many teachers in ICT. So we were looking at who is available. Then we looked at these teachers. We went online. Are they visible online? All the teachers that we have on our platform have at least 20 YouTube videos on YouTube. And we did not tell these people that we were looking for them. We were simply looking at who is doing what and how are they doing. Then we looked, what tools are we using? So we looked at tools like Zoom. Who is using Zoom? And we saw them. We saw those who came for the trainings. We saw those who are actively using Zoom. Then who is using Google Classroom and how are they doing it? So when we looked at all the people who are competent, we decided this is the team we are going to work with. We did not send out a call for applications, nothing. So we have only passionate teachers. These teachers are going to take care of your children's emotional needs. We have teachers who are going to take care of your students, your children's, the learners' talents and everything. So we want, we see many schools say we want to build a holistic, to have a holistic approach. But how many are really practicing this holistic approach? A holistic approach means that besides academics, the kid who is also good in football is also being identified and nurtured in their talent and skill. The kid who is good at art, the kid who's good in music, and so on. And then also that kid who is suffering emotionally, how are we helping them? So we have a dedicated platform, of course, where we are going to have a counselor who happens to be our host today also, who's going to work with these kids, the kids that are crying silently, those that are suffering silently, kids whose grades are not working well. How can we help them? We want our kids, those who are going to be on this platform, we want them to be examples in their schools. I was looking through the list and it was hard to get 2 students from one school. So you find that in all the people who are here, at least we are having just 1 student from each school. We want these kids to be examples in their school. But I won't talk a lot about this. I'll ask our Director of Studies, Druscilla Namgoma, if she's ready. I wish you could take over and give us a reason why your kid should join senior1.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dumba. I am the most delighted person at this moment. Hello, everyone. Good morning, my dear parents. Good morning. You're very welcome on board as we launch our unique e-learning platform. My name is Namgoma Druscilla. My name is Namgoma Druscilla. I'm a teacher from Trinity College Nabingo. I'm passionate about children. I teach geography and history. I am the director of studies of this platform. I am very delighted to inform you that just like in your, the parents here, just like you know, the director of studies in the physical setting of a school, I'm going to be running the online director of studies duties on our senior1.org. I'm really delighted that you are part of us. Thank you for heeding to our call. So let me get straight to what has brought me today is to talk about what senior1.org is. When you talk of senior1.org, I need to assure you that we are a team of passionate, digitally competent teachers. Like my colleague earlier said, we are passionate, competent, and we have come to give the learners meaningful education through an intuitive online platform. And when I talk of senior1.org, you could be wondering, because after the lockdown, you've had a number of platforms doing the same. So the question, the task to us would be, what is so unique about us? What makes us stand out from the rest? So that you can be able to choose us. Now, we are a team of teachers that believe that every learner has the potential. We believe that learning is not basically about academics. We are a team that believes that there is more to life than mere academics, running up and down during the lessons from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. should have something to distract the learner a little bit and in an educative and meaningful manner. Abigail, I'm sorry, what you're doing is not right. Abigail, stop annotating in my work. Thank you very much. So to move on, I'm saying how unique are we? Why are you supposed to choose senior1.org is that we are a group of teachers that are going to sit down and wonder who takes care of the emotional needs of these learners. Are you aware that these learners have emotional needs? That is what is going to make us stand out. You're going to deal with those emotional and physical needs. We are going to go ahead and wonder for you and help you identify the different talents your learner has. As they're joining senior one in a secondary school setting, we have a lot of untapped talent. So that is what we are going to look at. Then eventually we shall do a lot of career guidance. The dilemma when you're entering secondary education is knowing which subjects does my child have to offer, because usually the subject they do in most cases dictate the career path they're likely to take. So senior1.org is here to give help and assistance, and that is what makes us stand out. What exactly are we going to do in reference to career guidance, talent development, guidance and counseling, okay? So when I talk about career guidance, we are in an era where traditionally parents believe if you're not a teacher, a lawyer, or a doctor, or an engineer, those titles, you're literally unemployed. But we want to open your eyes a little bit more. That gone are the days when that was the only source of employment. You cannot imagine how much people are earning from web designing. You can't imagine how much people are earning from being designers for the case of those who are doing fashion and design. We have those ones that are doing website designing. I've mentioned fashion and design. We have people that are doing a lot in other fields. So what we are going to do as senior1.org is to avail platforms, opportunities through continuous career talks online from a variety of careers. We are going to have guest speakers from all walks of life to inspire and provide a potential career path for these learners. Who would have done it better than senior1.org? No one. Then in regards to talent development, when I talk of talent, I happen to be very unfortunate that when I was in school, I didn't have that platform. Not that my school didn't have it, but no one was there to help me tap into it until I've just discovered myself recently. So I feel had it happened earlier, perhaps so many opportunities would have come my way, but it's never too late. So as senior1.org, we are going to tap into those talents of the children early as 13, 14 years of age. As they penetrate into secondary education, we are going to tap into those talents. We have a lot of children out there that can write, that can do a lot of artwork, but they don't have the right platform to showcase all those things. So with senior1.org, we are going to give them an opportunity to have an online magazine for those that can do the poems, those that can do storytelling, those that are good at writing are going to have an opportunity to write in magazines. And not being senior ones, when they go into secondary schools, the only slot of writing they have, if any, is in a school magazine. Such slots are very limited. So if I have a platform like senior1.org that is willing to give you an opportunity to blog in a magazine so that the whole world is able to see what you are writing, by the time they finish through secondary, they shall have become very good writers. Their level of comprehension shall have improved because of the constant exposure they have. And we have those that are doing art, same story. We are providing the platform for that. Please grant us that chance to give it to your children. Then in line with guidance and counseling, my colleague earlier said the host herself is a counselor. This is something I do passionately with love. I love to deal with children's emotions. I love to deal with their growth game, help them embrace their physical changes, especially in this period of time where parents are lost into work, making a lot of money for broken children. Now, what happens is that these children are left in the eyes and hands of mates, wrong peer groups. So they engage in very antisocial behaviors. They end up doing drugs. There's a lot of pornography going on. And by the time the parents realize or come in to help, unfortunately, it is always too late. However, as senior1.org, we have sat down and decided, how about a full-time guidance and counseling professional session with these learners so that we teach them. These people have issues with esteem, the physical changes, the confusion around every detail of this teenage life. So as senior1.org, that is what we are going to handle. And that is what is going to set us aside. We are going to be exclusive in basically those three. And of course, not forgetting the academics. Clearly, we are your next generation classroom. Now, when it comes to academics, now this is when I speak as a DOS. We have lined up a team, like my colleague said earlier, a team of competent, diligent, digitally, people that have been trained digitally, so they have embraced the 21st century skills. These are the teachers that are on board with us, especially after the government rolling out the new competence-based curriculum. Our teachers have gone through those intense trainings, and I assure you they have acquired the 21st century digital classroom tools, and they are going to offer that kind of education in all subjects of the new curriculum using the competence-based curriculum. So parents, please do not worry, we have got you sorted, okay? We are going to have a team of teachers teaching using different avenues. We are going to use different avenues of learning. We are going to have teachers record videos on YouTube. We're going to have teachers doing a lot of Zoom classes. We are going to assess these learners using Google Classroom. We are going to have these videos uploaded on our YouTube channels. We are going to have seminars, and I assure you all this is going to be quality work. And all this is going to be done in line with the government rolled out competence-based curriculum. I assure you, dear parents, we have started this journey. It is going to be a beautiful journey. All you have to do is to support us, register with us on the contacts you're seeing on the screen, okay? We have our mobile telephone number, that is 0200-907-137. You can contact us through our email, which is info@senior1.org. And then our website is www.senior1.org. And for those that shall have registered with us, we are starting this month. On Monday, we are starting our orientation month. And in that orientation month, we are going to have an overview of all the subjects, the syllabus coverage in each of the syllabi, in each of the subjects, basing on the competence-based curriculum. I assure you, you will not go wrong as long as you have joined senior1.org. Still this month, as we're starting on Monday, we are going to also engage the learners on the different career paths. We're not just promising we are going to effect this starting Monday next week. We are going to have varying co-curricular activities done online. You're going to wonder, we're going to play volleyball online? No, we are going to avail the platforms for debates, for quiz, you know, so that the learners are kept engaged and they are growing up healthy and wise. So all this is going to be done at a price of 50,000 that is going to be paid through our mobile money on the phone number that is on your screen. Okay, then next year you're wondering how long can the program go on? We are here to stay. Next year we shall just make a payment of 100,000 for a full year. Learning is going to continue because we want the learner to learn at their own pace. We are going to democratize education. You're going to learn at your own pace, in your living room, at your own convenience. So it is going to be a continuous model of learning. I thank you so much for choosing us, for heeding to our call. Welcome on board, my dear parents. Tell a friend to tell a friend to inform a friend that Monday we are starting. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm very glad that you've come through. We are honored to have you around. Thank you so much. Let me return the mic to my colleague, Mr. Dumba.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Teacher Druscilla. I hope this was fine. Now, dear colleagues, could we have maybe some questions and answers as we answer? I'm waiting for some questions from the audience.
Mr. Isingoma's hand is up.
Okay. Mr. Isingoma.
Yes, teacher, good morning.
Good morning, Isingoma.
Yeah, I want to ask that I didn't hear very well how much we are supposed to pay.
Yeah, yes, Isingoma. Isingoma. Hello?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
We are having an orientation month that is running starting on Monday. And this is, we are going to charge you 50,000. 50,000 only. Am I clear, Isingoma? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, but
Yes,
next year,
teacher, you are clear.
Yeah, next year, it's going to be 100,000 for the entire year. Remember, you're not only getting academics, you are going to get a full experience of a real school. Academics, talent development. If you're a writer or you want to be a writer, you are going to be able to write your articles, poems, opinions, and we are going to be sharing them in our online magazine. And this will expose you to online, and people will see your talent. People will know how good you are. And maybe by the time you finish school, you'll be already an experienced person. So by the time they ask for experience, you've done this for 6 years. You get it, Singoma?
Teacher.
Okay, thank you, okay, Singoma. We also have Marina Levin. Marina.
Yeah.
Marina, will you please?
Yeah, I was asking how are we gonna be paying the money?
Yes, Levin, sorry. Levin, you are going to pay to our number, our mobile money number, which is 020090. Okay.
0 what?
0200
Yes.
907
Yes.
137.
137.
Yes,
Yeah,
Marina.
good.
Okay, thank you. And then we have Shadik. Can we have Shadik, please? Shadik, can we get your opinion or point or question? Perhaps you can also have from Hadija.
So we have some online classes.
Sorry?
The online classes, will there be online classes?
Yes, Shadik. This is exactly what you're talking about. We are going to have online classes starting on Monday. In fact, I'm going to go through our syllabus, our program. You're going to see what we are going to have during these classes.
Timetable.
Sorry? Hadija?
Thank you, moderators, for this initiative. My question is, supposing when the kids begin school, let's say in January, and they're in boarding school, how will this continue if a child is in boarding school and yet he has subscribed to this online studying?
Yeah, thank you so much, Hadija. Like we said before, we are democratizing education. Hadija, if you know, a decade and a half ago, it was illegal for a kid to have a phone or a tab at school. When ICT, subsidiary ICT was introduced in A-level in 2011, schools started encouraging people or learners to come with their gadgets. So we are in this belief that, of course, in future, this will be very, very normal. But for now, I understand your concern. That is why our mode is different. All the lessons that we are preparing, all the lessons that we have prepared are going to be online. I'm going to show you our platform, our learning management system, and you are going to see that a kid learns at their pace. If a teacher like Mr. O'Neill, who is also on this platform, on this call today, taught today his English lesson, this lesson is going to be on YouTube. So during the holidays also, or even on weekends, or maybe when they have access to the computer labs, this kid can go and revise or attend a lesson that was taught by Mr. O'Neill a month ago. So it is very possible, as in kids do things at their own pace when they have time or when they have access to the gadgets and internet. Then it is during holidays that we are going to have these talent shows, when we are going to bring for them guest speakers, where we are going to have debates. During the holiday, we know that this is now a government sanctioned holiday, and we know that every kid is at home. And then during holidays, we are going to amp our aunt, as in we are going to make sure during holidays the lessons are just these live lessons where they interact with the teachers are there almost every day for them. But the lessons that the teachers, like the videos we are going to show you, have already been prepared. A kid can come and attend 7 lessons in one day. For example, we have networks which give cheap bundles over the weekends. A kid can decide to wait for Friday, load a cheap bundle, and then go through all Mr. Onyul's lessons over the weekend. Then maybe just like that, that's what I'm trying to answer. I don't know whether this answers your question, Madam Hadija.
It answers, thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Dixon. Dixon.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
May I was asking, is there some, we don't have a timetable to follow the lessons and so?
Yeah, today is only a launch. I'm going to show you after this quick Q&A session, I am going to show you the timetable, and we are sharing this timetable with those people who will have subscribed. Does this answer your question, Dixon?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Then Isingoma Emma. Isingoma.
Yes, teacher, I want to ask.
Yes, please.
That is it allowed? Yeah, is it allowed for someone to pay in installments? Like you pay 20,000, you pay 20, like that, or it's a must pay at once the 50K?
Yes, Isingoma. My phone
Yes,
number.
teacher. Yes.
The phone number that we are going to work with is 0200. You got the number, right?
Yes.
You will call, and we are going to have a meeting after this session. We are going to have a meeting with staff, and then we shall decide by afternoon. Please call back and I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
Thank you, Singoma. Do we have anyone else? Druscilla, do we have any other person's hand up?
There's someone in the chat room, Malinga Levine,
Yes.
wondering whether the 50K is for the month. Yes, Levine, 50,000 works for a month. Thank you very much. I hope I've answered your concern.
So, Druscilla, we are running out of time. Can I please share our timetable? So I'm sharing our timetable, and then after the timetable, I'm going to show you our platform. Teacher Druscilla, is my timetable visible?
Yes, Mr. Dumba, it is.
Now, in our timetable here, today, Saturday, is what we are doing right now. We are launching our online platform. Now, on Monday from 10 to 11:30, we are going to have an overview of the new lower secondary curriculum. It will be handled by Mr. Mokalele Rogers. He's a master trainer, and he was supposed to be with us here, but they are holding master trainings for head teachers across the country on this new curriculum. On Monday at 10 to 11:30, he will be available, and he will give an overview of what this curriculum is, because we know our learners don't really understand when we say the ministry launched a new curriculum. So we want them to know what it means to work under a new curriculum. Then on Tuesday, we are going to have math, English on Wednesday, chemistry on Thursday. And then on Friday, we are going to have a career guidance session where we shall have a guest speaker. We have like 20 guest speakers lined up, and we are still confused on whom we should start with. We don't, we did it, so we don't want to say today that we are going to have this one or the other person. So we have 20 or 20, in fact, there are 21. We don't know who is coming on Friday. Then on Monday, we have Monday of the second week, we have biology, we have physics, we have geography, we have history and political education. And then we are going to have a medical personnel who is going to come and talk to our kids, on matters concerning health. Here, we are going to concentrate on the girl child. Our guest speaker is going to talk health on Friday in the second week. In week 3, we are going to have entrepreneurship, Kiswahili, ICT, and CRE. And then again, we shall have another guest speaker on Friday. Then week 4, German, French, art and design. And then we are going to have a debate where boys are going to verse girls. And then on Friday, I think on this day, we shall be wrapping up our sessions. And that's what we have. And I want to remind parents that in what we have done in our lessons, what we are going to do with our online platform, every learner who joins this platform is going to learn French. We are going to make it, we shall choose between French and German. We are going to have a learner, we are going to have a teacher to teach our kids French. By the time our kids finish, are through with our course, they know French as a language, not just as a subject. We want to give this extra something to our learners. Yes, they have studied their history, they have studied chemistry and biology, but what is so special with a kid from senior1.org? This kid should be able to speak French. Then this kid should be able to have at least one of the talents nurtured. So we want to see writers, we want to see artists, we want to create a multilingual community, as an individual who can speak maybe at least 4 languages, because you have your mother tongue, you have English, and then remember Kiswahili, government proposed Kiswahili has to be taught, and then we have at least French. So we want your kid to grow up fluent in 4 languages. French here is an extra for every learner who is going to be on this platform. It's not just a subject, it's another language. So that is about our timetable. Then about the platform. Let me see. Yes, this is our platform. This is senior1.org. You have pages like home, about us, subjects. We have the notice board and then the contact us. If you go to the notice board has all the subjects that we are going to teach our learners. You can go there and download these learners books for your for your kid, so at least they can get an overview even before joining us. I want to take you to one of the subjects. Maybe I'll show you two. Let us go to geography. We shall have an intro video like here. If you clicked on this video, of course, this we put this here just for intro, but our teachers have created videos for this. So that is the intro video. And then we have about the course, then the description of the course. And then when you scroll down, you start seeing we have 49 video lessons. Lesson 1, what is geography? This is a video prepared by the teacher of geography. Then the branches of geography, the value of geography. All these are videos a kid will watch at any time, at time of their convenience. They can watch and rewatch, as in they have They have all the time. They can watch it as many times as they can. And then let us go down. If you go to topic 2, it has 2 videos. If you go to topic 3, we have a number of videos here. So all these are the topics that the S1 kid is supposed to learn. And in total, they are, if you look, they are 49 lessons. Let us try French. The intro video is here. And you click on the intro video, of course.
Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à Learn French by Suchita. Je m'appelle Suchita, votre enseignante de la langue française.
That's it. So after having that intro, this has 16 lessons for now, but more are coming up. So a learner is going to go through all these lessons with their teacher. And for French, we said every learner at senior1.org must graduate with French. They should be able to express themselves in French and talk anything else. Maybe if they went to a French-speaking country, they are competent enough to express themselves. Then the other things is we are going to go through WhatsApp. We shall be communicating through WhatsApp. We shall be using bulk SMS. I hope many of you got these messages. Then we are going to have Google Classroom also for our Google Classroom for our assessment, and then this LMS. The subjects are here. We can start from the beginning. So we have art and design, biology, chemistry, CRE, English, entrepreneurship, French, geography, German, history, ICT, Kiswahili, mathematics, and physics. They can even go at the bottom of at the footer. They can just click on any of these subjects. Let me say if I clicked on French, and it will bring you the French lesson, which is that. Teacher Drew, do you have anything else to say as we finalize?
Thank you, Mr. Dumba, for yet another chance. The only thing I have to say is assuring you quality. Trust us with your senior 1 child, and we shall produce the next generation child through this next generation classroom. Please, thank you. Welcome on board. Support us. Tell a friend to tell a friend about this unique e-learning platform. We are here to help you. We are here to help the children joining senior 1. Thank you very much, Mr. Dumba.
Thank you, Drew. And perhaps maybe, I don't know, do we have any other questions before we wind up? Any questions before we wind up? We have Marina. Marina Levin, you have your hand up again.
Yeah, is the number the one you gave me, is it registered on WhatsApp?
Yes, it is. That number is registered on WhatsApp. It will receive the mobile money payments, and also it's the one responsible for our WhatsApp group. Then we have George Katerega. Yes, George. And do we have any other person? Teacher Drew, I think we have worked well within our time.
There's someone in the chat room asking whether there is acting. Acting will be availed. Yes, there is that opportunity. Yes,
you are going to act. We are going. I didn't tell. I did not mention that some of these things, even ICT, is going to be a subject for everyone. So we are going to develop your ICT skills. So you should be able to use a phone, a tab, or a computer or laptop to do whatever you can act and showcase your work, and then we upload it to our YouTube video, and then we can share with the world. You can share, we can share, your friends can share, even acting, please. It's very available.
Yes, Mr. Dumba, there's also another one. Nora is wondering whether she could be able to sing.
Yes, Nora, you'll be able to sing, and your work is going to be shared on our YouTube channel. Any other? Robert is asking whether we can summarize what we just presented. Robert, please join our WhatsApp group. You can join our WhatsApp group. You can send a message to 0200 907 137. That's our WhatsApp. You'll get all the communication from there. And then Timon asks, in what forms of acting? Any way you feel like, as long as it is decent and generally acceptable.
Mr. Dumba, I think we are running out of time. Remember, we planned for 1 hour.
Yes.
Okay, we have about 6 minutes to go. Any closing remarks, or I end my meeting?
Teacher Drew, I think we don't have any other queries. I think you can close the meeting.
Okay, then before I close, I want someone to give us a closing prayer, and we put all these plans in the hands of the Lord. Can someone give us an closing prayer? Sorry. Then I should be the one to pray. Lord, we thank you for being with us, for granting us the wisdom, and we thank you for our beautiful and active audience. We put this project into your hands, and as we go home, bless the works of our hands and grant us any mercies. Amen. Thank you very much for coming through. Please continue to support us. We are your next generation. Classroom, have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for coming through. I think I should sign up.